Okay, in today's video about Telcoin, I want to check out this move down right in here and tell you first, there is just nothing to be worried about. Everything is absolutely fine. And second, there is actually a chance that the bottom is going to be in right in here, and we might see soon, maybe in the next week or two, Telcoin getting out of this range. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great time with your family and loved ones. And here is the situation. In my opinion, this whole move down in Telcoin is just gonna be a correction structure, and we shouldn't be worried about it at all. And I have a couple of very important reasons for that argument. First, in terms of classic TA, meaning support and resistances, this is a very important resistance area from weekly and daily time frame at the same time. And if you want to say this is broken, you need to go on weekly chart, see a candle close above the region, pullback, and then a continuation of the move up. And you can definitely argue, look, this is our initial move up, and followed by that, well, okay, this is just a simple pullback, and what's gonna happen after it? Most likely a continuation of the uptrend in order to just set higher highs and high lows. This is the first reason for why am I so optimistic on TL. Now, the second reason, let's measure this move down starting from the highest high up here about 0.087. Let's just take this one, excuse me. Okay, as you can see, this is about a 47% move on the downside. And are you worried because you think that this is a deep move down? Well, if you think this is the case, then okay, let's go on daily time frame and see what happened in this move on the upside, especially in these small corrections. You might think these are small moves on the downside. However, I promise you they are not. For example, this one, let's measure it from here to about here. This is about a 61% move down. So you see, these types of moves in the bull run are just absolutely normal in the crypto market. And I fully understand it if you are a new investor and new to the crypto. But if you're someone that has been around for quite some time, then okay, you probably know that we shouldn't really be scared of these types of price action. And here is another reason to be optimistic in terms of Elliott's waves. Let's go on H1 time frame. Okay, let's zoom out a bit more. There we go. You see, the highest high is actually right in here. And from here to about the lowest low, I can tell you, look, this is definitely a 3-wave move, which means most likely we are dealing with some sort of a correction structure. Personally, and according to my analysis, I'm thinking our correction in Telcoin actually didn't start from here. No, it started from this point, and this might be a flat structure. Followed by that, we are having a correction, and then this might be an ABC zigzag, which means on a higher degree, we may have, if I just do this, a W, X, Y in form of a flat and a zigzag, a correction structure, and after it's over, or maybe it's over already, we are going to continue our uptrend. So here's a question. Why did I say at the beginning of the video that maybe the bottom in Telcoin is there? You see, in terms of Elliott's waves, if you are a new viewer, I should tell you that if you want to argue, for example, we're going to have our final bottom somewhere around here. Let's say this is like a very important support, then okay, we must be able to find off of the lowest low in this region a 5-wave up. This specific case is a normal 5-wave. The rules for it are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of impulsive structure, wave 3 should not be the smallest wave, and for subwaves, you know it if you are a regular viewer. We must have 5-wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. There we go. And for our corrections, for wave 2 and 4, we can have different scenarios. Doesn't really matter. Let's say, yep, ABC into wave 4, and sure, a WXY into wave 2. Understood? Okay, let's go on the live chart. And let's actually go on some lower time frames, maybe 15-minute chart. So I want to be very clear. I usually do not go on such lower time frames, but this is for the sake of educational purposes. So I'm thinking it's actually fine. Okay, what do we have off of the lowest low in this region? I think we may have a 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up into wave 3. this might be a correction for 4, probably I would say a triangle structure, and this is another move up into wave 5. So this can actually be a good sign that suggests the bottom is in. But from this high, the story gets a bit complicated. Why is that? Let me ask you a question. What happens after a 5 wave up? You know it, a correction structure on the downside. And one of the very important characteristic of a correction is that it shouldn't be a strong move down compared to the previous move. No, it should be a choppy move on the downside. However, if you want to say this is a correction, well, okay, it's actually quite strong. And also, this move up right in here is actually quite choppy. So what's the plan here? You see, in Telcoin, for the next couple of days, if the bottom is in, I want to actually see another move on the downside in order to take the lowest low in here, and then after it, another move up. Why is that? Because at that point, I'm able to argue, you know what, this is an A, B, C in form of a zigzag structure. And then if we get a move up and take this side, that's actually going to be a great sign. And we can definitely say we are dealing with a great bullish setup. You see, I can tell you at that point, look, this is 1, this is 2, and what happens next? Well, according to this scenario, probably a huge move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5 in order to at least take the highest side in this region for the first target, which from the current point, it means maybe we're going to have like a 50 to 60% move on the upside, but I think we're not going to stop there. No, we're going to go quite a bit more higher than that. Now, what happens if we just have a big move down in order to take the lowest low? Does this mean that we are going to be absolutely bearish at that point and say the bull run is over? No, definitely not. At that point, we're just going to say, you know what, maybe in the short term, we are going to go down a bit more in order to reach to about the next important level, which is going to be right in here between 0.0034 to about 0.0036. And then in here, I might actually, if I see the right structures, go long in TL with the target of at least taking the highest side and the stop loss, probably I would say under the lowest low down here. But for now, since we're not there yet, I think it's a bit too soon to talk about that kind of possibility. Let's just focus on the short-term price action, which, believe it or not, does actually seem optimistic, especially because, again, at the same time, we are above this very, very important region, which makes us say, you know what, maybe this is going to be just a very simple pullback. So let's have our final conclusion and wrap up today's video. If you do not want to be involved in any kind of short-term price action in this area, then okay, I would highly suggest to just wait a little bit more and see a move up in TL in order to take this high about, let's say, 0.0075. Why is that? Because if from here, maybe even a bit lower, we get a move up and take this high at that point, okay, how are you exactly able to find from the highest side to about here a 5 wave down? And I'm not going to say it's absolutely impossible to find a 5 wave down. No, anything is possible in this market. But at that point, if I want to force myself to find an impulse in here, the shape of it is going to be so odd that is going to make me say, you know what, that's just going to be my alternate scenario, and my primary scenario suggests this whole move down is just a corrective movement. So again, this is for those of you who do not want to be involved in any kind of short-term price action happening in this region. And if you are not that type of person and you want to see what might be next in this area, then okay, I would say in an ideal scenario, what we like to see is actually a move down from the current point and then a move up in order to take this side. And at that point, we can actually be bullish with a decent amount of confidence in TL. Nonetheless, one way or the other, the overall scenario in Telcoin, I want to be very clear, is absolutely 100% bullish. And I fully believe after we get a solid bounce back out of this region, we are going to have maybe a 2 to even 300% move on the upside. And I just cannot tell you that the bull run is over. And at least for now, I just cannot find any evidence suggesting that is the case. So for now, I think we should definitely consider our bullish possibility over the bearish one in Telcoin. And hopefully soon, probably I would say in the next week or two, we're going to get a bounce back in order to continue our uptrend. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in TL's charts. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.